Stephanie and I own a 130-acre farm in New Paltz, New York. We raise vegetables and livestock using organic methods. We don't spray pesticides or apply fertilizers. We usually use animal rotation through the fields, compost and manure for fertilizer, and organic methods such as row covers, which is some pictures up here of some of the fields. We grow a lot of heirloom variety vegetables. We've been doing CSAs for a few years. We really enjoy it. People are very happy with it. It's a good system for us. It works out well. We try to grow we do grow a wide variety of crops, but for the reasons that, like last year when it was extremely dry, we grow dry season crops as well to compensate, whereas 2 years ago when it was extremely wet, we try to provide a balance of what you guys get as a consumer. It's usually pretty green laden in the spring: kales, chards, spinach, arugula, head lettuces, cut lettuces, snow peas, and snap peas as they come in. And as we get into the middle of the season, when a lot of the fruits start coming in, the zucchinis, squashes, tomatoes, and cucumbers, it's a different kind of box. Just because of the growing season, the greens start off earlier. I'm much better at answering questions.
Do you also market the livestock?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we raise, with everything we do, it's kind of an old-fashioned approach. We raise a lot of heritage animals and a lot of heirloom seeds. We grow anywhere from 7 to 12 different kinds of tomatoes, for example. And we rotate every year. We try a few newer experimental varieties and, of older seeds. And we do that with most of our greens.
Lacinato kale, red Russian kale,
white Russian kale,
and curly kale. So we grow 4
kale.
different kinds of kale. You'll get throughout the season 4 different kinds of kale: chard, rainbow chard, and then also a white chard. And the rainbow chard is beautiful. Some people prefer the white chard because it's a milder tasting chard. But you'll get to 1 week you'll get that, and the next week, or 2 weeks later you get white chard, and you get to try different things also.
You can count on, a bunch of herbs every week.
Yeah, every week.
Chives or early on, sage late in the year, basil.
Yeah.
And then a couple of greens, and then either cut lettuces or head lettuces, depending, and then whatever fruits has become available, and then a lot more of the hardier stuff in the fall.
So who decides in terms of portion? I mean, is there more than an abundance, or do I have to supplement?
Belonging to a CSA is a leap of faith on your part, and it's also something that you'll get used to, hopefully rather quickly. Mm-hmm. But so a typical week.
We try to put a basket of things together. The greens will always be a serving size for pretty much 4 people, and finished,
so
no
a
leftovers.
nice bunch of chard.
It'll be
so if you cook it for dinner that night, everyone's getting, a helping of chard on their plate. And the basket, every week when you come in, there'll be baskets set up, and there'll be really a menu, and it will say, and the menu will say, this week's share: 3 cucumbers, 1 bunch of chard,
So then we take it
1
ourselves,
herb,
we go through down the line.
Mhm.
Exactly.
4 tomatoes.
That's okay.
It's not packed already.
No, and
No,
you're
no,
going to
no.
come in, and the bins will be out, and you'll take 3 cucumbers that you like and put it in your basket, and
You
the
could also
chard will be
trade.
bunched
Right.
with a rubber
Mhm.
band. 1 bunch of chard in your basket, 3 tomatoes in your basket, 1 herb in your basket.
So you don't walk in and take something.
Right.
4 potatoes
Like
or
going
and
down,
3
it's like an
onions.
assembly line up.
Yep, it's an
Yep.
assembly line. You will
But
walk through and
we're
you'll
told
take
what to
it.
take. You also
And you'll
everybody's
get-
told
yes.
what to take.
Yep.
And there'll also be
people are
either
here when you
ors
come get
in
stuff.
some cases.
Yes.
Right, a choice. There'll be, this week, for instance, when peas first come in, there'll be a choice between peas or arugula.
Arugula or something.
Along with it, the variety runs between, depending on the time of season, between 4 and 8 items every week. And we try to limit it as much as we can to, 1 herb, 1 or 2 like brassicas greens, like kale or chard or collard green, and then usually something in the lettuce family, the head lettuce or cut lettuce or arugula or baby spinach, and then depending on the time of year, a bean or a pea or
zucchini,
eggplants,
eggplants, bell peppers, chili peppers,
green
okra,
beans.
green beans, Roma beans, I'm trying to think of everything that, you know.
Potatoes, onions.
Potatoes, onion. You're really going to be eating along with the calendar. You know, so early in the season, it is, you know, more bitter greens and, you know, those leafy greens early in the season, because that's really what's going to grow by the middle of June. It are going to be some lettuces and things like that. And then by the time August comes around, it's tomatoes and eggplants and peppers and cucumbers and you know, and there's all of this stuff coming in. We've never had a CSA, and we've done a number of CSOs over the years, and we have a farm stand at the farm. We've never had a year where people haven't been sick of tomatoes, which I'm very proud of.
We grow things for you, like depending on the enrollment, and as we start the greenhouses up and start planting, we'll plan to grow for the community here. The garlic we plant the second week in October, and it overwinters, and we harvest it in early July. So, yes, I have garlic planted, but we didn't know about you guys, and you didn't know about us in October. So it depends, you know, what we have. I mean, we grow specifically for our CSAs.
How many shareholders are there in a typical CSA? I'm sure there's no such thing as a typical.
We've done as few as 25 and as many as 80. We try to maintain a lot of, very diverse farm. We do vegetables, and we do cattle, pigs, chickens, turkeys, ducks, vegetables, and
How about eggs?
flowers, eggs, yeah. Which we brought some tonight as samples for everybody to try. They're down in the car, I didn't want to bring them in, I didn't know if I had the right building, so. I'll and eggs with you when you go. You can see how different our products are, right? So one of those things where, even though if you might be buying organic in the store or local stuff, we're pretty proud of what we do.